Part 1, the ultimatum. Sign this or the wedding is off. That's what Ethan's parents handed me 3 days before I was supposed to walk down the aisle. My name is Sophia Williams. I'm 28, and I thought I was about to marry the man I love most in the world. Instead, I was faced with a prenuptial agreement, pages of one-sided clauses that stripped me of property, rights, and even the company I'd built from the ground up. They assumed I was powerless, just a teacher's daughter aiming too high. But behind my calm exterior was $9 million in assets, a thriving tech business, and the resolve to never back down. They demanded submission. What I returned was something they'd never forget. I wasn't born into luxury. No emerald rings, no private tutors. I grew up in a modest brick home on Chicago's west side. Both of my parents were high school teachers, devoted to their students, careful with every dollar at home. Vacations were road trips. Back-to-school clothes came from clearance racks. Still, we were rich in values, education, integrity, and determination. I learned to outwork everyone around me. Scholarships paid my way through Northwestern. Late nights in the library covered tuition. When my grandfather passed my senior year, he left me a surprise. $7 million in quietly accumulated investments. To the world, he was a modest man in cardigans. To me, he became the seed of a dream. In a tiny apartment, fueled by coffee and endless coding, I launched an edtech startup. By 26, it was worth $2 million. Yet I lived simply. Practical car, modest apartment, clean lines. I wanted success to speak louder than extravagance. That's why no one, not even Ethan, knew the real numbers. Only my parents, my best friend Jenna, and my lawyer Harold were in the loop. When I met Ethan at a charity gala, I saw warmth, not wealth. He listened. He cared about education. He made me laugh until my ribs hurt. When he proposed, I believed we were equals building something real. But love can't silence judgment forever. At the Blackwood estate, Victoria praised my scholarship with a sharp, cutting smile. Richard spoke over me, as though I were merely Ethan's guest. I swallowed the sting, telling myself love mattered more than pride. As wedding plans progressed, Victoria micromanaged everything, guest lists, flowers, even cakes. Each time I compromised, I told myself the details didn't matter. Then came the prenup. 3 days before the vows, they revealed what they truly thought I was worth. They called it protection. To me, it felt like erasure. I called Jenna as the tears came. Part 2, ambushed at tea. They ambushed me, I said. 3 days out, ultimatum at tea. Her anger was immediate. Call Harold at 7 a.m. sharp. I texted him and then opened the prenup. Section 4, paragraph 3. They would claim my code in a divorce. Dawn found me in a charcoal suit, pearls from Grandpa, laptop glowing like a war room. Harold arrived, calm and precise, reading every word silently. By page 8, his jaw had tightened. This is aggressively one-sided, he said. Borderline coercive, given the timing. Can we fight it? I asked. We can rewrite it, he smiled. From scratch, we drafted a counter prenup. Mutual protection of premarital assets, ironclad IP carve-outs, fair division based on duration and contribution, clear rules for future earnings and property. No hidden traps, no legacy trump cards. This is the leverage, Harold said. I opened the folder of statements. $7.5 million in investments, $1.5 million company valuation. Total, $9 million. Are they aware? Not a clue, I said. Harold nodded. Good. Facts first. Drama never. I texted Ethan, we need to talk. Carlucci's at 1. He arrived, rumpled, eyes tired. The ultimatum's unacceptable, he said. If anyone cancels, it's us. Hope eased the knot in my chest. But you should see this, I said, sliding the folder across. He scanned it, stunned. Sophia, 9 million? Your grandfather, your work. Why didn't you tell me? I wanted love without ledgers, I said. Your parents' test became theirs, not yours. I should have told you about the prenup, he admitted. I should have told you the numbers, I replied. Transparency starts here. He straightened, lawyer-like. What's our move? I placed Harold's documents between us. Balanced, precise, non-negotiable. We present it tonight, he said. Together. Neutral ground. I added Lakeview's private room. Mom will be late on purpose, he said. Let her, I said. We'll be early on principle. We rehearsed between sips of water. No anger. No apologies. No debating my worth. If asked why I hit hard, I'd say privacy over performance. Deadlines pushed? We'd politely mirror them. Ethan reached for my hand. I choose us, he said. Not the family script, I said. Then act like it tonight. Every word counts. I messaged Harold, phase 1 complete. He replied, fairness isn't a concession. I closed the laptop. Fear buzzed. Resolve anchored. Tonight, we stop auditioning. Tonight, we negotiate. Part 3, Lakeview Showdown. Lakeview's private room gleamed like a courtroom. Mahogany table, crystal light for settings. Distance measured in inches. We arrived early, calm by design. Sparkling water untouched. Folders aligned like armor. At 6:17, the door opened. Victoria entered, burgundy like armor. Richard followed, cufflinks sharp. Darling, she air-kissed Ethan, ignoring me. What a charming venue for a signature. Please sit, I said evenly. We have things to discuss. They sat poised. Ethan went first. Your document is unacceptable in approach and terms. Richard's brows rose. It's the standard Blackwood agreement. Standard doesn't mean fair, Ethan said. Nor respectful, 3 days before the vows. Victoria waved, impatient. This isn't personal, she said. It's protection of legacy. I opened my portfolio. Protection matters when it protects both sides. Richard frowned. That wasn't our arrangement, he said. Plans change when facts surface, I replied, sliding the folder forward. Numbers stared back. $7.5 million in investments, $1.5 million company valuation. Total $9 million. Victoria blinked. Impossible. Do you drive an old Audi? Value substance over spectacle, I said. My parents were educators, my grandfather a quiet investor. Everything else I had built myself. Silence hit like a hammer. Richard adjusted, almost audibly. These appear legitimate, he admitted. Why hide this? Would it have changed how you treated me? Victoria's cheeks burned with the answer. Ethan observed quietly. We're offering an alternative, he said. Balance protection for both families. I placed the counterproposal on the table. Premarital assets stay separate. Ironclad intellectual property protections. Fair division based on contribution and time. No loopholes. No hidden advantages. Richard skimmed the documents, eyes narrowing. Some of these terms are unusual. Fair, Ethan replied. Victoria bristled. Unlike your version, she snapped. You revealed yours to me privately, I said, 3 days out with an ultimatum. Richard lifted a hand. We'll need attorney review. Tomorrow at 3 p.m. The wedding is in 2 days, Victoria hissed. That matches your deadline, I answered. Richard's mouth twitched. Understood, he said. Any changes must keep the balance intact, Ethan confirmed. Non-negotiable fundamentals. Coercion ended there. Victoria studied me, fragile, yet sincere. I misjudged you, she admitted. Then we can all grow, I replied. Richard extended a hand. You're formidable. Equal partner, I said. We left before they could regroup. The lake outside reflected silver light. Ethan exhaled. You were brilliant. We were in sync. That's the point, I said. They came expecting compliance. I delivered sound financial counsel and fair terms. Part 5, the Lakeview Showdown. At 6:12 p.m. sharp, Ethan and I entered the private dining room at Lakeview Restaurant. The mahogany table gleamed beneath the chandelier. For place settings, ready for a war disguised as dinner. Richard and Victoria arrived late, radiating diamonds and disdain. Richard skipped pleasantries. Sophia, 9 a.m. came and went. I trust you've made a sensible decision. I slid a leather folder across the table. We reviewed your prenup. It was unacceptable. Here's our counter. Victoria laughed, a sound sharp as glass. Counter? My dear, you misunderstand. You were supposed to sign, not negotiate. Plans change, I said evenly, especially when new information surfaces. I opened the folder to reveal the balanced agreement, drafted alongside Harold and my financial portfolio. My assets totaled around $9 million, $7.5 million in investments, $1.5 million in my company. The color drained from Victoria's face. Richard snatched the documents, scanning them in disbelief. This is completely legitimate, I said. And this protects both of us fairly. Your version was coercion. This is equality. Ethan added firmly, non-negotiable. If we marry, it's as equals. Silence fell, thick and heavy. The only sound, the faint clink of crystal. From the next room, diners laughed, unaware of battle raged behind the closed doors. Victoria finally spoke. Why hide this? Why pretend to be less? I wanted to be loved for who I am, I answered, not for what's in my bank account. Richard's lawyer's mask snapped into place. We'll need our attorneys to review. You have until tomorrow, I said. The wedding is in 2 days. This ends before then. Victoria's eyes narrowed. Deadlines were usually her domain, but the papers on the table told a story she couldn't ignore. Richard nodded curtly. We'll review by 3 p.m. tomorrow. No tricks, no reverting to one-sided terms. Ethan reached for my hand. This is the marriage we want, partnership, not control. For the first time, Victoria's gaze shifted. Not contempt, but something closer to respect, maybe tinged with fear. In that room, power had shifted. I walked into their arena, but I held the ground. Part 6, A Wedding of Equals. 2 days later, I stood in my dress, veil pinned, heart steady. The new prenup was signed, balanced, fair, protective. Not a weapon, but a shield. As I walked down the aisle, Ethan's eyes met mine, full of pride. Not pride in conquering me, but in standing beside me as an equal. The ceremony felt different. Not surrender to a family legacy, but the creation of our own. Every vow carried the weight of battles fought in the days before. At the reception, whispers circulated. The Blackwood smug certainty was gone. Richard introduced me as Sophia Williams, entrepreneur and partner. Even Victoria's gaze had softened, edges dulled by reality. Later, in a quiet corner, Ethan whispered, "We did it." And for the first time in days, I believed him completely. This wasn't just about money. It was about refusing to be underestimated. Drawing the line between love and control, compromise and surrender. Sometimes the bravest act is standing your ground. Sometimes the strongest love demands respect first. That week taught me that power isn't in a family name or bank balance. It's knowing your worth and never letting anyone diminish it. So, if anyone has ever told you to sign away your dignity, to settle for less than you deserve, remember this. Respect is the only inheritance worth fighting for. Have you ever had to prove your worth to someone who underestimated you? Share your story in the comments.